Hi, Brent Haynes with Woodsound Flutes, and so excited to share this flute with you. This flute touches on a subject that I think is of particular importance, perhaps to everybody, and that is flutes made from historic woods. Now, could be a historic wood for you personally, maybe a special tree where you grew up, maybe a tree your father or grandfather planted. In fact, I think the first flute that I felt that I had made from a historic wood was I called Grandpa's Walnut. And Julia's grandfather planted the walnut tree in 1942 in Colorado. It's probably been more than 10 years ago now. My brother-in-law Jim brought a truckload of that wood over here. The tree is still alive, interestingly enough, but Uncle Dale had cut a bunch of the really big branches. Some of them were massive, and they brought a lot of that wood over for us to use. And I'll bet a lot of you have some flutes made from Grandpa's walnut. I think it's very cool. The flute that we're going to be talking about today, this flute came from a beam like this. This isn't the actual beam that it came from. The beam it came from has been cut up a bit more and doesn't have quite as nice a shape. And we wanted to use something that just gave you a real idea of what these beams really look like. Now, there has been one piece cut off of this. This originally was 2 by 12, so there was another 2 inches over on this other side. And actually, it's almost more like 3 by 12. Anyways, this beam came out of the Salt Lake Tabernacle. That's the Salt Lake Mormon Tabernacle. You may know the name of the building by. And what I love doing, I'll cut this beam, cut a 2-inch section out of this beam. And then I only need 2 inches of wood. So that lets me cut another section off and leaves me with about 1 inch of material that I can do things with. And in the past, what I did is made just plaques, just the wood with the story of where the wood came from. And then recently, I've started building flute stands out of this and making it into a total package. So you have a way of displaying the art as well as telling the story. And I'll just read to you real quick where the wood came from. The Salt Lake Mormon Tabernacle was built by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The prophet Brigham Young asked Henry Grow, he was a shipbuilder, by the way, Henry Grow was, and interestingly, the shape of the Salt Lake Tabernacle is shaped like it is because Henry Grow had no idea how to build a building, but he knew how to build boats. So he built a ship upside down, and that's what gives it this incredible round, elongated surface. It was a real fabulous leap of intuition that Henry had in doing that. And the entire building, here's the crazy part, the entire building is held together by pigskin. Can you imagine? I mean, it's a big building. It holds a lot of people, and it's survived a number of earthquakes. But they didn't have a lot of nails and things, and so they would take it to make a join, to join one beam to another. They would put some holes in it, drive pegs of wood through those holes into the other beam, and then wrap the whole thing up with wet pig hide. And the pig hide would shrink, and for over 150 years, that has been what's held this building together. Sorry for that segue. Okay, so Henry Grow, the prophet Brigham Young asked Henry Grow to design and build the tabernacle. Using their own time and money, the early saints built the tabernacle between the years of 1864 and 1867 in the mountains near Salt Lake Valley. White pine and fir was harvested to be used as the timbers in the building. And between 2005 and 2007, a seismic upgrade was done on the tabernacle. During this process, some of the beams were reinforced with steel, and a few 4-foot sections of beam were removed. This tabernacle timber is believed to be Doug fir and was recovered during the upgrade. For over 140 years, the wood vibrated to the praises of the saints, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. May this flute continue to sing in gratitude and love to our God. Brent Haynes and the Woodsounds family, 2016. You know, one of the things that I think is worth saying right now, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in or don't. It doesn't matter what spiritual walk in life you walk. The fact is, look throughout all of the world. Everybody is seeking for things to believe in, seeking for ways to benefit their families and their lives, bring richness and hope. And whether you're Buddhist, whether you're agnostic, whether you're a pagan, or whether you're a born again pagan, as one of my very dear friends likes to call himself. The point is, we people, we need things to give us hope, whatever that happens to be. I am super pleased with the way this flute plays. Was practicing on it just a few minutes ago, the song I'm going to play for you. Which, by the way, the name of the song is A Poor Wayfaring Man. One of the things I love about this flute that I want to touch on, because my shop manager, Josh, this was his brainchild. And what I'm talking about specifically is this piece of wood right here. This actually was a hole in the beam that this piece of wood came from. So they had drilled a hole in it. They had something through that, securing it to another beam. And when we got the beam, there was nothing in it. And so Josh took a little piece of the Tabernacle timber and he aligned the grain so it would be contrasting and interesting. And he turned a dowel, inserted the dowel. This is before anything has been done. He's working with a 2x2 block of wood that's maybe 25 inches long. And he puts that dowel through, secures it in place, and then we bore the flute. And so I don't know. I think it's so cool to be able to show the history, to be able to see all of this damage that happened to the grain of the wood as that hole was created because their bit wasn't quite sharp enough. I think it is so cool. Now, this flute has a fish on it because I actually used this flute to trade for a new Winston fly rod. I lost my fly rod in October. I left it on top of my car after almost 30 years of fishing with that rod. I can't believe I lost it and did that to it. Such a sad day for me. But one of my neighbors, his nephew reached out to me. I didn't know he was his nephew at the time, and said, "Hey, Brent, I'd be interested in doing a trade. I'd like to get a flute for my dad for Christmas." And so we went ahead and did a trade, and he sent me a Winston Air 5-weight, 9-foot rod. And I got to tell you, I think about my clients all the time as I'm living my life and having my own experiences. And I think about the really wonderful, delicious, tasting, enjoyable times that I have. One example of that is I recently received a knife from Mark Barger, one of my I've known Mark for many, many years, 15 plus years, and fabulous musician, incredible person, incredible heart-centered man. And he is retired from the police and decided to make knives and to give them away. He doesn't want to sell them. He wants to just give them to people that he cares about and that he feels like he can be a blessing in their life. And every single time I pick up that knife, I think about Mark. I think about our history together, the good and the bad, all of it. And I love the taste. I love that interaction. I love the communion he and I have had together throughout the years. He is very special to me. And every day, even today, I held that knife in my hand and it brought me joy. And that is what I hope my clients get when they get one of our flutes. I hope it gives them a few moments of just joy where they can hold something so beautiful, so lovely, that they know that time and energy and love has been built into the flute from the very beginning. That is my hope and my ambition for the work that we do. So this rod got me that new fly rod. And that fly rod, I promise you, every time I play it, I'm thinking not only of what an incredible tool it is, oh my goodness, I just think, and the fly goes right to where I want it. It doesn't matter if I'm dry fly fishing, nymphing, streamer fishing. The accuracy of this thing is unbelievable. It's super lightweight. I can cast it all day long without fatigue, and yet it has power and backbone. Fabulous. This is the kind of things I want built into my flutes. Not, power and backbone, whatever. Not specifically about the rod, but specifically, that's the kind of thinking. When you pick up a Woodsounds flute, the experience I want for you, number one, easy. It's easy to get a great sound. Number two, dynamic capability. You can play it soft and loud from the bottom note to the top note. It doesn't matter. That flute responds. It does what you need it to do. And it responds quickly. And it projects the emotions. If you feel an emotion, you hear it come out of the flute. That's the kind of thinking that I do as I'm considering about making changes or making improvements into our process. And it has been from day one. So let's see what it sounds like. Hope you enjoyed that. That song is called "A Poor Wayfaring Man of Grief." Beautiful song, and I love the words to it. I think they're inspiring. I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I thank you so much for playing our instruments, making music with the work that we do. Truly, it's very difficult for me to express how deeply I feel the gratitude to you, how deeply I feel connected with you, and recognizing that you're making music with a piece of wood that I did a little shaping on. It really makes me happy, and I'm delighted that you are. I hope it brings a lot of joy into your life for many, many years to come. I love you. Have a great day. Whether you're dreaming of your first native flute or wanting to create some custom instrument, Woodsounds is where your dreams can be made real. My name is Brent Haynes, and you can reach me at 801-822-1415 or brent@woodsounds.com. Have a great day.